Uje.
And so what do you guys do for the Parents' Day?
I don't know. I don't do anything for Parents' Day. I kind of stick to mother. I just say happy Aboy na Parents' Day, and then I'll do something for Mother's Day and something for Father's Day. I don't know what to do for Aboy.
Okay. And you, Uje, do you do anything for Parents' Day?
I just sent a message on the Katok.
Oh, I see. You're looking kind of slim there, Uje. You losing weight?
Yeah, so I've been exercising and I lost more than 10 kg this year.
Holy,
Yeah,
good for you. Congratulations.
thank you.
What so obviously it's hard to keep to these exercise regimen. What kept you going?
Oh, remember I told you about that depressed friend?
Yeah.
So one of his so he liked doing like lifting weights.
Yeah.
So I've been going to the gym with him for the past like 1 month, I guess. That really helped. So I go like very early in the morning, like 6 a.m. But like to go at 6 a.m., I have to get up at like 5 and ride a bicycle to the gym and ride back. And then I signed up at the YMCA and they have a swimming pool. So after workout, I just might as well just swim. So like I've been doing this like almost every day in the weekdays. So I think that really helped a lot. Like in the beginning of the year, I tried running, but then I wasn't consistent. But once you have like a gym buddy, like it becomes pretty consistent thing. So that like that, and I think fasting, but fasting, I don't know. Like I'm doing that for health reasons, not necessarily to lose weight.
Yeah.
But definitely if you do weights, I think that you lose a lot of weight.
Nice. Congratulations, man. Keep it up.
Thanks.
Great. So, I mean, in the spirit of Father's Day, I told you guys we're gonna start this this book club. I don't know if you guys picked up the book Superior Man. But I'm happy to give an excerpt and hopefully we can talk about it more in the next call because we got Dave and Changfa not here today. Really quick update. So Russ has decided to take a break because he's way too busy. Obviously, well, he's been kind of gone for a while, so he's going to take a break from Kingsman, but he'll come back. And I met with him last week to see what was going on. His kids are 7 months now. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, I hope for him to connect with us sometime soon. I'm hoping to make a barbecue in the summer, so hopefully him and his family can come out to that. You too, Wujay. I'll give you some good notice, and then hopefully you and Dave can come swing by. So before we get into that, just quick check-ins. Where you at and why? Numbers? I'll give it to you, Wujay. What's your number and why?
Like 8. It's been same since last week, I guess. Yeah, I'm trying to make a YouTube shorts like consistently throughout my day. So my goal is to make 1 video per day. It's yeah, it's I have a yeah, the thing is like I posted on like different platforms. It's interesting. Like YouTube is consistent, but the Instagram, like I don't know, they have a lot of bots or yeah, so I don't know if it's true. So like one of the video I got 1,000 views, but I know in reality it can't be true. Like because like in TikTok or like YouTube, I have like 100. That's like my kind of like views, less than 100. So I don't know how to feel about that. Like it's wise to. Definitely have more questions about like what different platforms to post, but it's a good to experiment now. And
100%.
yeah, it's yeah, but like in the future, I do want to make like long format videos on YouTube. That's kind of like my goal. But right now it's pretty good. Yeah, and if I have like those long format videos where I interview people, I think you can like build a business or like side hustles around it because you get an opportunity to meet people. And if you meet a business owner, I think there's an opportunity to sell like analytics dashboard or build websites for them in the future. So I think that's something to keep in mind. So go beyond like traditional like like a ad revenue, I think you can like build something around it. So I'm pretty excited about the whole YouTube thing.
Nice, wonderful. Yeah, I'm happy to expand on whatever you're looking to ask, but yeah, you're right. There's many income streams you can get through social media, and I don't know if you're part of my newsletter, but I am going to actually publish the next one about that and how people do that. So yeah, Ujay, sorry, Andrew.
Share your newsletter. I don't know. I didn't know you had a newsletter.
Oh, here. So I'm revamping it. I used to have one through MailChimp and simply just MailChimp, but this is what I'm doing now. And it's going to be a lot better because it's going to be an archive. It's kind of like a blog / newsletter, where I will post and it'll keep it all there on the page rather than just being an email. So this just launched. I've had a newsletter for a while, but this one's new format, new style, much better. Andrew. Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, I was just looking at the newsletter. It's cool. I like it.
Thank you.
7. I'm doing well. It just feels like lots on my mind. I don't know where it's coming from. And the quality of sleep is just lacking. Sorry? What? Okay. Is it my microphone? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I don't know. Is it Alex? Ujay, talk. Can you hear me, Ujay?
Yes.
Oh, Alex. I can't hear Alex. Is it my? Can you hear Alex?
No, I can't hear Alex.
Oh, I can't hear Alex. Yeah, I thought it was my iPad. I was like, cool, what day?
There you go. Is that better?
Oh yeah.
Weird. Okay, sorry. You were saying quality of sleep something?
Yeah. No, it was just for the past 2 days. I think I don't know what it was. It's just things people were saying, and I was messaging. I don't know if it was my state of mind or I just, in a good way, I'm focusing more on myself. But what I noticed about doing that, I became more selective with who I talk to and hang out with, and however, it didn't come off in a good way. So that's why 7.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we'll explore that a little more today.
Yeah.
Here, what I want to do, and thank you for sharing. I'm really looking forward to actually talking more about that because today actually ties into a lot of that.
Okay.
So I sent you guys the book link. I don't know if you guys picked it up. The Superior Man. No, sorry, The Way of the Superior Man. And this thing here, I love this book. I read it a lot actually, and it really makes sense because it's talking about how to become a powerful and sufficient man so that you're, aligned with your goal, very much like what we do here in Kingsman.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm hoping today, I would love to read kind of an excerpt from it, from one of the chapters, chapter 47. And we can expand on whatever you guys are going to talk about. But the way the book club is going to work is, we focus our conversations around them and see how they go. Sound good?
Yeah.
So the excerpt kind of goes like this, or it goes like this. it talks about the relationship between man and women and how it is asymmetrical. Okay, so this is a primary asymmetry in intimacy. It goes much farther than this, though. For most men, their woman is replaceable. Harsh but true. If you are like most men, you know deep down that if you were to lose your present woman, you would deeply grieve, but you could eventually find another one. Many times, in fact, you have probably fantasized about finding another woman even before you lose the one you have. Because a man's priority is his mission. He will always gravitate to a woman who he feels would most support him on his mission. If he feels another woman would enliven him and give him more energy for his work, he might desire her as an intimate partner. Now, I want to let that sink in a bit. Because when I read this, I'm like, holy shit. Although it's an asshole move, although it sounds terrible, to a basic level, it's kind of true. What do you guys think?
Ujay, go ahead.
Well, I think it's true. You want to be with someone who make you a better version of yourself. And if it's like a marriage or if it's like can be a long-term thing, I think it's even better.
Andrew?
Yeah. If I had married someone when I was younger, I had a Clement.
Comment?
I think that's one of the reasons why I have not chosen to get married yet. I do have high expectations on myself, and there's always things that I'm doing. I'm always changing, and my priorities have changed now. There are certain people I've been talking to, and there's a certain female friend that's been sticking around for a while. She did like me, and I do know that, and I did like her too. But there's like in the long term, like I think she can do well. However, there's a part of me that's just like, I don't want to be with you, or at least like right now, or it's just something doesn't feel right. If I were to just settle, she'd be perfect. Just settle, but I don't want to, and I think that's what stops me from being with her. And there's that's funny that this is the why I was smiling. I don't know if you guys saw me, but there's one other person that I was just I met up this week, and then said, I just got to more focus on myself. And she's more like, how come, can we go through like a journey together? Like, I'm like, there's a lot of shit that I have to do, and I have to, my priority change. Like, we can go through that shit together, and that's what we do, that's what people do, and that's how we grow. And I'm like, I understand. I totally understand what you're talking about, but right now it's like I don't have the time or the luxury to just think about you or your feeling. It just feels like I'm running straight. I have my priorities. I have to do something, and or if I have to put in the perspective like war, I'm going because I'm going to do something. However, I'm going to leave you behind. I can't. I can't think. Is something going to happen to you? Do you have to message you? Do you have to talk to you? Do I have the luxury to go on dates with you? I'm like, I don't have that luxury. Like, I'm just going to go, and she's like, it just feels like you are you and I'm me, and we're just separate. I'm like, that's what I'm telling you. I can't think of you right now, and you're not my priority. And she's like, that's kind of harsh. And I'm like, I'm telling you the truth. And it does sound harsh, and I'm sorry, because otherwise, if I keep running towards my goal, I am gonna sidetrack and be like, are you okay? How's it going? And we're gonna have these talks. And I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just shit that I can't deal with right now. And she's like, you can't deal with it. You won't do it. It's not that important to you. I'm like, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's about saying, actually, no, it's not. It's more like, you are nice, you're important, and I do care about you. However, I don't have that luxury. And she's like, why do you keep saying luxury? I'm like, because it is. And I think it's a luxury to have, if I'm in a different state, if I'm comfortable and everything is going the way I want it, I'm like, great. She's like, so that's the only reason why. I'm like, yeah. And I'm going to leave you behind. And I don't want to feel guilty for that. And by me leaving you behind, I think I won't be nice about it. If you ask questions, how about we eat? Why do this? I can already see it. And I feel that I'm going to blow up on you and be like, I fucking told you that I can't be with you. And she's like, well, why can't you be nice? I'm like, we're already having this conversation when I'm telling you, I don't think I can do it. What other nice way can I put it? And I think if I was an asshole, I wouldn't have this conversation with you. I think I'd just be like, fuck off. I don't want you. I don't need you in my life. But I'm telling you that because I respect you enough to tell you as a friend. She's like, but I like you. I'm like, okay. And she's like, I love you. I want to be with you. But I'm like, are you expecting I love you? She's like, no, I know you don't. I'm like, yeah, I don't love you. And she's like, well, I know that, but it does hurt hearing that. And I'm like, then why'd you ask? So sorry, it went a lot longer than I thought, but I was smiling because I'm like, holy shit, this just happened.
Yeah, man. So funny,
like,
right?
I don't know. It doesn't feel good that I did that to her. However, I'm like, I try to think positive. I'm like, I don't want you to have expectations or hold on to me, or, if like a year from now, I am in a better state, and what is that word? Emotionally and physically available, great. And you've been waiting. However, no, I can't. I can't have that right now. So when you say a man's ultimate goal or whatever is just where he's going in his direction, I was like, holy shit, that's exactly what I did. I'm like, I don't know if I did the right thing, but at the moment, I have to focus on myself. And it's just more like, it's so selfish or this, that. I'm like, no, I think I was not selfish enough. Like, and I went and talked about my brother-in-law, my family, and this and that, and friends. I'm like, because I just supported everyone, did that. But then at the end of the day, I'm like, the fuck do I have? So a little bit more, I don't like the word saying selfish. I want to focus on myself, improving more.
That's amazing how you brought all this up, because this whole chapter, it's actually a lot longer than this excerpt, but I'll give you some context around it. Is, a man is driven and fueled by his passion of alignment with his values and mission. And so for the longest time, you've been trying to align yourself with other people's mission and vision. And so therefore you felt this disconnect of, well, what about me in the end, right? And so now you finally found it. You're like, I'm doing this thing. I'm going to get this business going. I'm going to make those income streams. This is my time. This is me. And for any other woman to come around and be like, oh, love me, look at me, give me attention, it's a distraction.
It's the truth and it's a fact. And I'm just like, sorry, I gotta let you go. And it's weird how you said it too. And she's like, it can get intimate and this and that. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I think it could seem like an asshole, but for me, I'm like, yeah, maybe a guy, like, there are times that if I do want to get intimate with someone, I will, but I don't want to feel guilty. I don't want to have commitments. So right now I'm like, you feel like someone that I would have to commit to. So no. And
if I can say, kudos to you for being open and honest about this stuff. You're right. I think you'd be an asshole if you just kind of let it go on, play with her heart. You're not committed, just get your sexual or whatever physical needs done, and then, be on your merry way. But it's not easy to be able to do that and have that conversation like you did. even though it may sound asshole-ish. Obviously, we can talk nicer and be more diplomatic about our approaches. But you were open and honest. And I think that might be a reason why she's so attracted to you too.
I put it in as I need to focus on myself, improve and this and that. And yeah, she did say that. And she said, you know, if you decide something, you do it. And yeah, being more respectful in how I talk about things and seeing things from different people's perspective. She did say that. I'm like, well, I don't see things from other people's perspective. I think it could be like this, it could be like that. And she comes up with, you know, her stressful days. And I'm like, and she's like, I like how you're here and you're listening and this and that. I'm like, yeah, but sometimes it drains the shit out of me. And she's like, why? I'm like, because I'm talking to like fucked up people. I'm just like, deal with that. And she's like, I work with them. I'm like, fire their ass. You're the manager. And she's like, I know, but they're good at their job. I'm like, so they create a toxic environment, fire their ass. Hire someone and train someone better. And she's like, it takes time. I'm like, fucking, you're draining me. Stop talking to me.
Can I offer you something?
Yeah.
So this is exactly what I do as a coach. Like, I listen to people's problems a lot. And I would feel drained at the beginning, especially when I started my practice of, you know, how do I help this person? I'm listening to give them advice and all this stuff. Until I came across this concept, this distinction between sympathizing and empathizing. Sympathizing is for you to actually put yourself in their shoes and actually think about the solutions for them. Well, why don't you fire their ass? Why don't you kick them out? You're the manager. You know, this is what I would do. That is fucking draining because you have all the experience and you're thinking and try to be logical. And that takes a lot of energy because your body doesn't want to think. Trust me. It wants to conserve energy.
It's exactly. It's like, you've been a manager and you do that and this. I'm like, yeah.
Right. However, empathizing allows you to help people in a way that you don't embody their negative energy. Empathizing is you standing here and the other person standing here, and there's no overlap. It's just you can see things that they can't. And this is what I like to operate from. I hear people have problems about, you know, their sexual frustrations or their procrastination, their boyfriends, you know, relationships, a lot of stuff. And it's a lot to take on as a person who listens. But if you can empathize and actually have her come up with her own solutions, you're not going to be drained. And this goes far for business partners, life partners, friends, family. It works the same way. You will not be drained. I guarantee you. How do I know? Because I do it myself.
You drain yourself?
No, I don't drain myself. But the whole point is I don't drain at all when I have these conversations. I actually feel enlivened and energetic because one, you get to make an impact in someone's life. Two, the responsibility falls on them, not on you. And as it should be, because they are responsible of their own life, their situation, their environment, all that, right? And three, you're actually giving them space to let them realize that they're more amazing than they think they are and that they already have the solution. They need somebody to listen, for them to sound it out and help them find that solution that's already in them. Because the truth is, you don't know their situation like they do. You probably know maybe 1/10 of the entire thing that you need to know to make the right answer at any given time. So the best person to answer is them, not you. Sorry, Clement. Catch you up what we're doing here. Thanks for coming on. Happy Father's Day, by the way.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you
Happy
too.
Father's Day.
That's right. I'm just writing all this down. It's
it's recorded too, Andrew, so you can always recap and whatever.
I can, but I find myself not going back to this. So
okay. So Clement, we're talking about the book. I don't know if you saw, but we're doing something called book club. I sent it to the Facebook group. I asked everybody to see if they can pick up a copy of this book because I'm going to be referencing it for the next maybe month or two, see how it goes. And I sent you the excerpt that I shared today. And to give you guys a little bit more background, this is me paraphrasing this chapter. A man is always looking to be fueled and driven by his values and alignment so that he's always feeling driven towards something. He's a creator. Whereas the asymmetrical, because asymmetry means it's not the same. The woman, what they look for in a relationship is this love, compassion, and care from the man to feel like she is full. And when you put these two together, it's quite a harmonious marriage. Because if you think about it, if you have a power couple, you guys have probably heard of that term. One man is the provider, gets the money, the harvester, goes out, does the thing, supports the family. And then the woman is the supporter of everything at home. Kind of like in caveman days, if you think about it. She takes care of the cave. The guy goes out and hunts the food, comes home, they all work harmoniously together, right? And then they were talking about, sexual needs is only one aspect of this all, right? How this fulfillment of reproduction and how it works together and how you can create this really strong foundation. Nowadays, it's kind of weird because people can switch the roles. So women will go out and go do the job and align the values and bring in the money and all that. And the men can stay at home, be the stay-at-home dads, which is fine. If you have that dynamic and that agreement, totally fine. But as long as there's this asymmetrical relationship of one is the alignment mission and bringing in the harvesting, and then the other is the supporter, the care. What are your thoughts on this, Vijay? Vijay? I don't think he's listening. Hey, Vijay.
Yeah.
Can you hear it?
No, I didn't.
I asked what your thoughts on what I just said.
The superior man.
Well, I was talking for a while. I would love to know what you got out of that.
Sorry, I didn't hear the last few seconds.
What did you get? What did you hear?
About a man chooses someone who supports their vision. Yeah.
Okay. And how can this apply to you, or what can you do to use this to better your life?
I think you find someone who help each other. That's the ideal. Because well, I don't know. I actually don't know, because I think it's different for people. Like, what if you're not the ambitious type? Then it'll be stressful if someone keep pushing you to become better. So I don't know.
Sorry, my computer crapped out there. Can you hear me? Okay. Yeah. So what do you have this kind of context, Vijay, and I know you're going through quite a bit right now with your current situation. What do you think you would like to do in the next little while?
I think what I enjoy most is like making YouTube videos, because it's not only for other people but for myself. I'm learning a lot and I like doing it. And I think eventually I want to make more like a long format videos and then build the side hustles around it. But that also requires me constantly learning. So for example, I noticed that based on our calls, a lot of people want to build better websites, for example, and I I need to learn how to do that, so I have to constantly learn. So yeah, I think I ideally someone who can understand that I want to keep learning and they invest in that too with me. And someone I like is someone who also constantly learn is, I think it's a good match.
Sounds like Andrew.
Yeah.
So again, it comes back to, and I don't know if you heard that, Clement, the alignment of a man's mission of and aligning his values. So for you, is building your, maybe, I don't know if it is, correct me if I'm wrong, building your real estate practice and allowing that to thrive and become prosperous. That could be your mission for the next little while. And to have Sophia and Saku support you on that, that is super important, right? What are your thoughts on this, Clem? What do you get from this stuff?
From what you said, like from what the excerpt said.
Yeah.
First off, where do I find me a girl that can that will work, and I'll just stay at home. No, I'm just kidding. I mean that's pretty standard in what we were raised in. I think just because that's kind of the way that it has been for centuries, and it's only the recent few decades, or maybe even 2 decades or so, that things have started to change and that women are starting to be like the main provider. I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter who's the provider as long as there is somebody, and like you said, as long as there is balance in between in the family. There's always going to be, one that's more passive than the other. If there's both people making money, always out working, then there's no balance at home. If they have kids, the kids are going to suffer. They're not going to see. You see this in like shows, movies, stuff. It's parents are always at work, the kids are miserable, and they lash out, or they're out on the streets doing, whatever. But yeah, I think there should be balance, and what Ujay said was also right. It's like, whatever you guys align to, you guys just got to find a balance.
Yeah.
So I think that excerpt is pretty on point, but it's more of a but that is saying that to be a superior man, you have to be the provider, right? That's kind of what I got.
So this is just part of the chapter. There's another part that says the women can be the provider.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter. One of you has to be the provider, right? And it makes common sense.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think when reading this one, I picked it because it was a really great reminder, of what a good relationship, supportive relationship could be. And what the expectations are around all that. And, I listened to Andrew's story about, a girl who loves him, ready to commit, but he's not. Part of me is saying, yeah, that's great. Commit to your mission and get it done. But there's also a cost to it. The cost is the opportunity to, maybe she is that supportive being that needs to be there for you and, You know, right now you might not be able to see it because you got blinders on saying, I need to get this fucking money or I need to get this business and nothing else is going to stop me. So leave me the fuck alone. Right. But at the same time, I don't know this girl. I don't know anything about her. She could be that missing element.
I like that is one thing that scared me. I'm like, should I do it? Should I not? But I'm like, hey, just wait for you and you'll just be there. Why can't you be there to support me? And a part of me did think that. I'm like, she's a great girl, and later on, maybe she will. She's a great supporter. She's a great personality. But I'm like, it's not okay for me to say that, and I don't want to. Maybe she is, and if she is that person, I'm like, then she'll probably stick around for later on, even if I disappear for a while. But at this point, I'm like, I don't want to have that guilt of taking away her time, or if she wants to, they're great. But I don't want that guilt trip, and I don't want. But a part of me did. I was afraid of that, but I'm like, because I'm afraid of that, I'm like, I can't stop myself from just moving forward. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe she is the one. But then, if I do move forward, part of me did feel that I'm like, maybe she is, maybe she's not. What if like she isn't the one? I do find someone. She did mention that though. She's like, but you get to your goal. You're gonna find someone else that's in your area, that's that you're surrounded with, someone that's better than me, and this and that. And I'm like, is that what you're afraid of? I'm not just like, it's like, yeah. I'm like, so you just want to be there until I get there? I'm just like, you know what? I don't see this shit. I'm like, I don't have this time to have this conversation with people. Maybe there is, maybe that's not. But I'm like, I'm not gonna be surrounding myself with a bunch of girls and this and that. Oh, and get better and surround myself. She's like, yeah, but that's what happens. I'm like, okay, maybe that's a separate issue that you got to deal with.
Yeah.
And what got to me was, she's like, you said to me the same thing that my other ex said. I'm like, okay, I'm having this conversation with you, and then you just brought this other ex in, and I'm like, fuck this. And I'm like, and that's when I realized, I'm like, I guess she's a great supporter. So every guy that she's been with, she supported them all the time and this and that. She's been in a relationship for like 8 years, and I'm like, holy cow, she's a great person. But yeah. Anyways.
But relationships break for a reason, and it sounds like she's got some baggage that she needs to work through before.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I'm glad you're able to see with clarity what you want. So if you don't want it, you don't want it. That's fine. But yeah, just in these times of, for me, what I hear is you're kind of an all-in kind of guy. You're either all in or all out.
And that has its pros and cons.
For sure.
Like, my personality too, and I see it. Like, I'm all in. If I like this person, I'm like, oh yeah, great. But if I don't like it, it's not like, okay, well, let you go. It's like, fuck off. And again, yeah, it has its pros and cons. I like it because it's just like, fuck off, yes, no. It's very clear and direct. But sometimes I don't like it. It's just like, I could have said it nicer and this and that. And then I get this guilty feeling. But then after a while, I'm like, no, I've done that before. And that's what's harder on me. And it just stops me from going forward. Like, then I think about everyone and this, and I'm like, oh, no, I can't do it.
I'd just love to take this opportunity to remind you that your past does not determine your future. It's your actions that you take now. And whatever other crazy bitches hurt you may or may not be present now. So, opportunity may come. Just keep your eyes open.
Yeah. Like, who am I to judge people? But I'm like, for the people that I feel sympathy, well, not sympathy, I want to empathize with is, yeah, you don't need to be hurt. You're a great person. However, if there's like a narcissistic person, I'm like, yeah, fuck you. I'm like, good, you deserve it. But you know what's funny, Alex? It's, as much as I said, like, fuck you to the narcissistic person in the family, it comes to me now, like, I understand how the father was feeling and this and that, and being with a wife that's narcissistic and trying to take care of his daughter. I'm like, I understand more what he's trying to say and why he was trying to get to me. but he couldn't because I was so headstrong about, no, what you're doing is wrong. But in his situation, he did the best that he could because he's trying to take care of his daughter at the same time. His wife is narcissist, so he's trying to balance. And at that time, I'm like, that's your fucking issue. I don't have to deal with that. But now when I think of it, I'm like, he must have been going through such a hard time, and shit. I want to just pick up the phone and say, I understand how you feel. I'm sorry for doing that. But then I'm like, no, I don't want to clash. I'm like, what's gone is gone. I'm like, fuck off. Like, but in my mind, I'm like, it could do him well, and just, this release so that there's no anything bad in between us. If he's living in Vancouver in the next like 40, 50 years, I may run into him. At the same time, like, no, I don't have that. I like use the word luxury now. I don't have that luxury and time to meet up with him and do this right now. I'm gonna focus on myself.
That's a very, very good point. And thank you for sharing that, because that brings me back to one of my studies of a guy named Joe Vitale. He wrote a book called Zero Limits. And Zero Limits talks about this spiritual cleansing of yourself, especially in people like in your situation where you face these things, you have this urge to reconcile, but you don't have the time or the headspace. You're like, fuck it, I don't want to do this because it's going to suck me dry. So there are ways of actually cleansing yourself spiritually from where you are right now without picking up the phone, without talking to them. Okay. So the book actually is premised around him helping inmates in a prison become better versions of themselves without even meeting them. And he did it time and time after again. And how he did it was actually in a practice of saying 4 simple things. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. And I don't know if you believe in energy and how when you say words, like, when you're all of a sudden, boom, you were thinking about your dad and he calls you, or an ex, like, oh yeah, I wonder how she's doing, boom, and then the next calls you, like, oh shit, I was just thinking about you, right? That kind of stuff is energy, because there is some resonance that goes from your body to theirs in this world. And I truly believe that energy is everywhere. So when you do this, like you can even do it right now, is think about that man that you were talking to about his daughter and his crazy narcissistic wife, and repeat these things. It's a spiritual cleanse of yourself. Is I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, and I love you. Soon you'll start to feel that inside of you start to shift. The guilt, the pain, the sadness, the regret, all that stuff starts to transform into something more positive. And then you can generate from that. You can become a better person, learn from it, extract the lessons from it. And then whatever you do from here on out, you become a much better person for yourself and for others.
I can do all of that except the one.
Which one?
I think I'm very clear on if I let say I thank you, I appreciate what I forgive you, and I can say all of that, but I'm like, I don't love you.
Perfect. And that's actually a really good point too, because those who do this think of love in a certain way.
Yeah.
Love is a very fixed, it has to meet this criteria to love a person, right? And that actually limits quite a few people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you can love a person there's different levels of love, man. Like I could say I love every single one of you guys.
Yeah.
But it's not like the way I love my wife or my kid.
Yeah. That's it. Oh, holy shit. That conversation I had with her, I'm like, it'd be so easy if I was talking to the guy, but you're a girl and you have these emotions and feelings. I'm like, if it's a guy, I'd be like, yo, hold on. Like, shut the fuck up for a bit. And like, I'm not saying that to you. Like, you're going to have to deal with this emotion and this and that. I'm like, if I say that's to a guy's not going to be like, hey, man, you hurt my feelings. But, but like, if I say it to the guy, it might hurt his feelings. But I'm like, hold on, like fucking suck your thumb for a bit. Like, I can be straightforward with a guy and they will understand. But if a girl, it's just like, we could have said it nicer and this and that. I'm like, I could have. But again, that's the shit that I don't have time for. Yeah. Thank you. Today's call is awesome. So far, so great. Sorry, I know it's gonna get better, but right now it's just like, boom, and then what is this? 50 minutes. Oh, everything's just coming together. Great.
Yeah.
And it's recorded.
So I guess my point is, Andrew, think about it. Actually, I would love for you to take maybe a minute here to think about the different kinds of loves you have for people. Can you count them on one hand, or is it more than just one hand?
The different kinds of love.
Yeah.
If you were to give me an example, are you talking about like the different the love languages, or
No.
are you talking?
This is completely a felt sense thing. So when you say, I love my dad, is it the same love that you have for your dad that you do for your mom and your sister and your nieces and your nephew and maybe Sean? I don't know who else is in your life, us, Think about those different kinds of love. Say, I love you. Can you imagine yourself saying, I love you to every single one of those people? Is it the same feeling?
Nope.
So there are small nuances between each of those people, I assume, correct?
Yes.
So if you were to say this to this girl that loves you, I don't know if she loves you, but if you were to say it to her, what is that felt sense? Or is it even there? Does it exist? Is there any love?
I love that she is a great supporter, and I know that of a person and of her personality, and I have a hard time just letting it go because of her personality, and I know that she's a type that would probably be able to communicate and withstand my mom's annoyingness. They're both equally fucking annoying. So like, you guys can talk to each other if I married this girl, but because I know any other girl that I've dated before, they'd be like, fuck, I hate mother-in-law and this and that, and they'll like complain about shit. But however, I see her as a type that would be okay with that, like that. And she's like, I want kids and this and that, and like I see you'd be a great dad. I'm like, hey, like, don't have this conversation with me. I'm not ready for this. And like, we're not in a relationship. But yeah, so I love that she has all of those qualities and can be that person. That's the type of love that I see towards her. And that's how I feel towards her. I don't know if I say that's my love for her. That's how I feel. And if I think of love, anything close to love, that's how I feel about her. And it could be. And physical attraction is not there. And I get, you guys know how I think I value. I think physical attraction is important for me.
And that's fair. Everyone has their values. So stay in line with that. And I'll also throw it to you when you say I love you to this father who is kind of demeaning and, the father of the narcissist.
Yeah.
If you can somehow find it inside you to be able to say, I love you, figure out what that felt sense is. And notice the difference between your dad and your mom and your nephews and nieces. Because there's something there. And if you're able to find love for every single person in your life, you are actually cleansing yourself of all the hatred, the negativity, and finding gratitude in it all. Because that's how you coat your mind from negativity is the gratitude, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll let you sit with that for a bit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Hey, Clement, what's up?
No, no.
Happy Father's Day.
Sorry?
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, happy Father's Day.
How's baby?
She's sleeping.
Oh, is she sleeping through the night now?
No, no, she still needs feeding. Throughout the night.
So like 3 hours, 4?
I think Sophia said it was around every 3 hours.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I'm okay. It's Sophia taking care of her through the night, so she's the one that's more tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now she's sleeping. Give her the morning.
You know, I think it was you who was talking about, some families have 2 people working and then they just hire a nanny or something to come, and it sometimes creates abrasions in the relationship because were you the one talking about that?
Mm.
Well, anyway, someone said that and it hit something for me because I see these working professionals. One's a carpenter, another woman is a professor at UBC, and they hire a Filipino nanny. And the baby actually speaks Filipino English. Could I please have some bread? I'm like, but you're white. Why are you talking like that? It's really sad. I don't know how. Was it your mom took care of you when you were younger, right? Your mom did she work?
Yeah.
Yeah. Same with me. And I didn't realize how crucial that was for my upbringing. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's very important that the parents be present. They don't have to be 100% present, but they do need to be present.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that is just the first of many book clubs. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one, this little segment. We got an hour left, so I'd love to open the floor to anything is there any pressing questions, feedback? Men's circle time.
Yeah, open the floor to anyone else before I start talking.
Thank you. Go ahead, Clement. You look like you got something.
No, I don't. If I do.
Okay, fair. Ujay.
Not me, but I have someone who told me recently that okay, so her personality is like she's a perfectionist, and she said like, have you heard of the term that perfectionist is the opposite of good? Like, for example, like when she was in school, like she either like do assignment like to get like 100%, and if there's like an assignment she's only gonna do like half-ass it, like she doesn't even submit it, like she gets a 0 because she doesn't want to do things in a half-assy kind of way.
Okay.
So I know, Alex, you mentioned it before that when you do something, like you should do like your 100% or something like that. But like, what about in this person's case? Like, I think they're worried that they miss out on a lot of things in life because they don't try a lot of things. Because in their mind, I think they think if they're not going to do 100%, like they might as well not do it or things like that. But what do you think?
Yeah, that's a really good point. And to that, I would say, this is a perfect case of thought distortion. We all go through thought distortion, and we operate from 3 different filters in our lives: generalization, deletion, and distortion. Okay. Are you familiar with these 3?
No, it's the first time I heard of it. What is it? Thought distortion?
Thought distortion. And so generalization is say, for example, you meet. Okay, I'll give you a real life example. Your marriage with Michelle, not going so well. So now you're thinking any marriage I have with a Chinese person is going to be fucked up and it's not going to work. That's generalization.
Okay.
We don't know that for fact. It might actually, you might meet another Chinese person. I don't know. But a lot of people go to that because of hurtful or significant emotional events that are, negative. So they think, oh, if it was like that before, it's going to happen again. Right? Distortion is exactly what happened right now. When you hear me say be 100%, give 100%, what you've done there is you've distorted what I believe it to be with what you think it could be. And this is great because in order to overcome this is to ask the questions. Well, what does it really mean to be 100%? A lot of people just stop there. They think, oh, Alex said this, so this must be wrong or this must be right, So the inquiry is actually really important to avoid distortion. And then deletion is, say, for example, you're walking in a crowd of people and you're beelining it for that one friend at the back of the room. But you don't only see that person and you delete everyone else. So you don't even see your father who's like waving at you, like, hey, Wu Jay, I'm here, or your mom be like, oh, can you help me, son? You don't see it because you only have blinders on and you can only see forward. That is deletion. So every day we're operating from these three filters, and it's up to us to be mindful of them all. So to answer your question, and I have never heard of the saying productivity is the enemy of
perfection is an enemy of the good.
Yeah, sorry, perfection. Yeah. The way I've heard it before is perfection is the enemy of productivity. Perfection and good. See, so a lot of people like to label these things, right? Is perfection good? Is perfection bad? When in reality, perfection is subjective. What does the perfect girl look like to you? What does the perfect coffee taste like to you? Like, only you can know that. When I say be 100%, you can actually apply the 100% principle to trying many things. You can be 100% to saying, I'm going to be 80% for every single one of these things I'm going to try. Right? It's up to you to set the parameters. But by that, I mean being mindful and present with whatever you're applying yourself to. Know that, okay, I'm this kind of person, like Andrew. I'm all in or all out. The awareness is key. He knows he's like that. And he knows he might miss out on a few things. And that's great that he knows that. But it's up to him to make the decision. Do I want to stay like this? Is this serving me? Should I continue on doing like this? Or do I change? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, like we weren't like necessarily judging whether perfection is good or not. It wasn't like a good or bad kind of way, but it was just like not doing things in a good enough way. But like I don't know. Yeah, but I have to think about this more. Like if because like if I have, it feels like it kind of like a trap because inside your head you say, oh, if I'm not gonna be 100%, why I might as well not do anything. It's kind of at the end of the day you kind of regret not doing it because you didn't do anything that day. Like like I don't know, but like I guess you can. It is subjective. Like you can say my 100% is not the same as your 100%. But what if like you have like very high standard, like what Andrew mentioned? You have high standard for like beauty or whatnot. But then like, what if someone isn't like that good looking? Like, do you still think that's a perfect? I don't know. Like, yeah, it's perfection. I don't know. I didn't think of it as like a subjective.
So the great thing, Wujay, is perfection, and your definition of perfection can change however you want it to change.
Yeah.
So the fact that you're reflecting right now, thinking about it, is a first step. And then secondly, saying, is the way I'm seeing things now serving me or not? Like
Okay.
me being 100% and, either not getting anything done because I don't want to give it 100%. And what is this costing me? Like a lot of opportunity, right?
Yeah.
So anybody's driven or motivated by fear, pain, or pleasure,
Mm.
right? So what are you running away from, or what are you running towards?
Okay.
And figuring out what you want. In the end, it should be really about what you want. Once you figure that out, then you can decide what kind of perfection definition you want to use.
Mm.
And, say if you stayed the way you are now, is it going to get you there to what you want? Yes. Okay. Stay the way you are. No problem. If it's not, well, you probably have to change something.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah.
All right, Andrew.
My yeah, perfectionism. It's funny. It's talking about perfectionism. I had this discussion with a friend a few years ago in regards to perfection. And they're like, how do you define perfection? I was like, what the hell? Like, where did this conversation come from? But yeah, subjective. I think it is so subjective because everything is what you think is perfect. I'm like, perfect is just what I think is perfect. What you think is perfect, it could be different. And then she's just like, no, nothing in this world is perfect. I'm like, why do you say that? It's like, there's only one, and it's only God. God is the only person or thing that is perfect. Everything else is imperfect. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I'm trying to see this point of view for her. I'm like, well, I think this car right now was perfectly made for what it's supposed to do, and this and that is perfect. She's like, no, it's not perfect. That is not perfect. Like, I'm like, stop arguing with me. I'm like, you're not a car mechanic, or you're not. I'm like, it was made to perfection, and that's what they did. There's flaws here and there, and people find it. She's like, yeah, see, there's flaws. I'm like, but it wasn't made to fail like that. And I'm like, anyways, long story short, yeah, it's someone else setting the boundaries or limits or parameters, and your own definition of perfection. So when I think of a girl, it's funny that Ujay you say that, because the girls that I dated before, I like pretty girls, and I like specifically figured girls. I don't like skinny girls. However, facial features too. I'm like, I like a girl with a nice smile. And my sister, she's like, what the fuck? She's like, why do you date ugly girls? I was like, what the hell? so so the way that I see things, and she's like, why don't you date this girl? She's so nice, she's so pretty. Like, all these guys want to talk, like they're all these guys like really want her. She's like really pretty. And I'm like, she looks like a fucking rat. Like, I don't think she's pretty. And she's like, oh my gosh, like something's wrong with your eyes. And I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it's just she's not attractive to me.
Oh my God, this is so timely. Hold on. I'm gonna show you guys something. You're gonna love this. Oh, come on. Have you guys seen a movie called Shallow Hal?
Yeah.
Ujay?
Is it Jack
No?
Black?
Yeah, Jack Black. Okay, can I get 2 minutes of your time to show this to you?
Yeah.
Like exactly what you're saying. This is happening, man. Here, check this out. Can you hear this? Hold on 1 second.
Every man has a
Kind
dream.
of choppy.
Every man has a fantasy. Every man has an image of the perfect woman.
When are you gonna get it?
What are you talking about?
It never occurred to you that picking girls solely on their looks may not be the best way to go about it?
But one man is about to get a whole new perspective.
Al Larson, I'm going to do you a great favor.
Really?
From this moment on, whenever you meet someone in the future, you're only going to see the inner beauty.
What are you doing? I am rescuing you. From what? From what?
This fall,
I gave them the ability to see the inner beauty, their heart, their soul.
He hypnotized you. You're saying that all the pretty girls I've met lately aren't really pretty.
Hal Larson is dating a vision only he can see.
Oh, there she is. There's Rosemary. Where? Right there. Is she behind the rhino?
20th Century Fox presents
Haven't you ever heard the phrase that beauty is in the eye of the beholder?
Have you heard the song Who Let the Dogs Out?
Gwyneth Paltrow,
Oh,
Jack Black,
Are you okay?
brain freeze.
Jason Alexander,
I don't want anything to do with you, you little warthog.
You had me at Get Lost.
in a comedy of gigantic proportions.
What is that? You want to see a splash? I'm going to show you a splash. Ready?
Hey, Billy, stay over near the ladder.
Shallow Hal,
Billy? Billy? Billy!
Daddy!
It's a good movie. I like that movie. Your microphone again.
Hello, hello. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Vijay. Hopefully you can watch this and get some pop culture going. It's really, really good.
Yeah, thanks.
So yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to detract you from that, Andrew, but yes, perfection is in the eyes of the beholder.
Huh. What? Where's that? Where's that quote? Something, perfection, something is in the eyes of the beholder. Who is it? What is that?
Well,
What's the other?
actually, beauty is in the eyes,
Beauty.
but perfection works for that too.
Yeah. Yes. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Perfection is in the eyes of the beholder. So true. So true. No, I wasn't going anywhere with that. Let's just talk with Uj. I don't think my standards are that high. However, just whoever I want to be with. Maybe not attractive to other people. I think so, but they're attractive to me, and I think that's all that matters. Like, if I want to be happy with who I see every day. And when you think, when they're like, "Oh, don't go for looks," I'm like, I go for looks at my standard for me, because women age. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get older. Women are gonna get older, but I think if I see someone that's gonna be beautiful as they get older or wrinkly or something sags, I'm like, they might not be as attractive as they were in their 20s or 30s, but I still think they're attractive at that age. And I've seen people like that. I've seen people who've aged and they still have that look. You look older, but you still have that attractive look. And I've seen people that are, no, I don't want to say it, but yeah, that are not so attractive. And they've lost weight and this and that. Yeah, they do look greater. They look better. But to me, they're still not attractive to me, but still, they do look better. So yeah. Anyways, I was going to ask in regards to provider, because I think I did see a clip about how men being provider and women being provider are very different. So with the previous experience in regards to this, I want to be a provider, and I do. And am I against a female being a provider? I'm not. I think I could stay home. If I can find, someone who makes all the money and this and that, and, will stay home, great. However, I feel that what I would be so happy with is if I work, or if she has her own side gig or side business for her own money and does something at home, stays home or go to work, it's up to you. However, me, I don't think I'm okay with a wife that's out there and working and do anything along the lines of that. And the reason I say that is there was an argument and a discussion, and I think it'd be good if I could hear from your guys' point of view too, to see what your thoughts are, is the men's thought and women's thoughts are different. So I guess in our nature to be a provider and to provide that security, to feel that you're safe. And the women to feel that I want to feel safe, I want to feel loved, I want to feel that my children are safe. I want to have your genetics. I think that's how they put it. Like if the attraction that a woman will get, even for animals, it's looking at an animal, they're gonna try to find the fittest of them, the strongest. They're gonna want this guy's seed. And for a guy, if they have that vision and that goal to keep going there, he knows what girl he wants, whether it be this girl, that girl, this girl. Yeah, but there's one girl that's gonna be like, that's mine, that's my girl. And that if she doesn't offer, that the sexual part, if she doesn't fulfill his sexual needs because she doesn't want her for whatever the fucking reason that she just, I'm not having it today, or I have a headache today, or just whatever reason, that sexual needs there is not being fulfilled. So whether a guy looks for it from somewhere else, or for someone from someone else, that's up to him. That comes into his or her values, his values. But when I feel that, the argument was, when a female does that, they might choose a guy that's here and gives her the stability of the financial needs, and provides everything. However, when she's putting the food on the table, she's looking for someone that is stronger or better, or makes more money than her. It could be like that. So I think there was that big discussion in regards to that. And then I was listening to that, I'm like, I don't know if I agree with it, but I can see that happening. Where, if a woman brings food to the table, unless she's like really committed to this guy and everything is in this world for this guy, there's a big chance for her to just look at different providers. I don't know, maybe it's for me, because I don't look for providers, or nor do I think there are guys like that. There could be. However, I think a guy's first, just generalizing a man, it's not going to be like, hey, I'm going to look for a girl that's going to provide for me, and I just want to just do whatever I want, kind of thing, and I just want to feel loved. I just want to make sure that I'm safe. And I want the women to provide for me and this and that. I'm like, I don't know. There could be guys like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, I just think if the worlds are reversed. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that? It goes really well with the excerpt that you explained. And that's, for me, that aligns. I resonate. I'm well, like, that's how I think. Is it wrong?
So we were talking about asymmetrical relationships. This is exactly what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
When the man is a provider, and that's typical culture, how it is, right? How we were brought up. But as I think I was mentioning to Clement, nowadays the role reversal can happen. where the women will provide and the men will stay home. And that's totally cool, as long as they have that asymmetrical dynamic where one is the provider, the other is the supporter. How that is perceived by you, that's up to you. But for a relationship to thrive, there has to be the balance. And now what I'm hearing and what you're saying as well, I can go find another person. You know, I have other options because I'm the provider. So it comes down to, will I leave you or will I cheat on you to find another person? If I'm the provider and I got somebody at home who's doing the supporting, right?
Yeah, I think I was listening to that, and how it comes down to when there was an argument in regards to this, how the women argued, I put all the money on and food on the table, all you do is stay at home. Everyone else can justify that because a man makes the money and the woman stays home and takes care of the kids. That's okay. She had the kids, but she argues, she's like, I had the kids came out of me, I went through all the pain, and now I'm putting all the money on the table. I'm gonna do all the finances, kind of thing. So you have no say in whatever. And I'm like, I think when it comes to that, I'm like, what do you communicate with when a woman, when nowadays I see it more, maybe it's the any female that I communicate with nowadays, it's more of it like, and more along the lines of, you don't have to give birth, you don't have to go through this, you don't have your body like ripped apart and this and that. I'm like, I don't want to argue with someone like that. Like, you're right, you're 100% right, like nothing like that. Like, I have I don't want to, I have shits that hurt, so I can't imagine a baby coming out of you. And by all means, like, I would love to provide for someone that is going to give birth to my children. But if it's used against me, I don't think I want to be around a person like that.
Typically, these conversations happen before you have a baby.
Yeah. So yeah, and like, what are your guys' thoughts in regards to that? I know when I see you and your wife, well, I've only seen your wife. I haven't seen Clement or Uja's, but when I saw your wife, I'm like, she did everything. Like, your family in your house is just like, fuck, that's awesome. Like, remember I told you, like, that is what I wanted. Like, oh, I wanted a house here and just being that close to family and that deck. And I'm like, Alex, you're living life. This is awesome. Your family is here. Your sister-in-law, and just like your sister taking your kids and this. And I'm like, that is awesome. And then your brothers come and their girlfriend, like, that is awesome. That's family. Like, the fuck is my brother-in-law doing? Like, stirring shit up.
Look, man, whatever you've seen is only a glimpse of what happens. And
Yes.
trust me, we were not always like this. Like, this takes work to get to this point. So I'm glad you managed to see that part of my life. But it's not all roses and butterflies and lollipops all the time.
Yeah, I do see that. But anyway, sorry. Going back to the topic, what are your guys' thoughts? So that's your thought, and I agree with that. Just as long as there's that agreement. Or it's just, there's so much change nowadays. The change that's going on nowadays. It's hard. It's hard to adjust. Like, it's hard for me to keep up when someone's just like, oh, this not binomial. What is that? Buy something or this and that, or he, she, or the, what are your pronouns? I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Or it seems like something new has come out, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Oh, that's another thing. Sorry, with this other female friend, because yeah, she does have a sister, but changed to brother. So I could say brother, this and that. However, there are times that, I joke about things like that, or I sent her, these jokes online. She's like, why are you sending me these things? You know, I'm sensitive in regards to that. I'm like, oh, sorry, I totally forgot. And just, I thought those things could be an issue. And I'm like, to me in my head, I'm like, guys will be guys, girls will be girls. And I kind of keep them separate, you know, and trans are trans. And but I can't keep up with everything else that's all these changing. So when I hear comedians talk about that, and I think it's funny, I like to share here and there with people. And I made the mistake of sharing it with her a few times. And I think that goes along the lines of now it's like, who is the breadwinner? Who is here? Like, is it me, or there's just a lot of failed marriage around me? I think that's what stopped me from committing to someone.
You are not alone. So just looking at the numbers right now, divorce rate in Vancouver or in Canada, 2020, per 1,000 marriages, 256 people divorced.
What is that, 20%?
Yeah.
Yeah, see? And Korea's number is what? It's like 56%.
So
to me, that's why I characterize myself as a Korean Canadian. And for the Korean girls I've dated, I'm like, oh shit, I can't keep up with them.
Yeah.
We don't even communicate on the same level. And I'm like, sometimes we're speaking the same language. I'm like, I'm trying to speak my best Korean, but I'm like, I don't fucking understand what you're saying. And I'm like, I definitely can't get married to you.
So verbal languages versus, parasympathetic languages, nonverbal languages are very different. And you know this.
I do. I think it's me, like, how do you communicate with Koreans better? As much as I hate it, it's something that I have to. And that's why I'm like, I need Wooja to talk more, but he's a guy. So it might be a little bit different. I'm like, how do you communicate with these Korean girls? And the reason I say Korean girls is being in the taekwondo industry, being in the fitness industry and this and that, I want to keep growing bigger and I want to bridge Korea and Canada. And it's something that I want to do. And I feel that I have to do that. So
I'm all about immersion. So I think, you're thinking 6 months here, 6 months there. The best way to learn a culture is just to go in it straight into it. Like you're gonna learn the nuances so fast that you don't even realize you get it.
I do hear that, like, hey Andrew, when you go to Korea, just be careful because you're so direct. I'm like, I'm so direct, but like, yeah, Koreans will get offended very easily by what you say. And like, I think that's like, no, because I've had experiences with that. However, I'm like, what if he explained? They're like, no, Koreans are not okay with explanations. There's things that you do and there's things that you don't. There's things that you say and things that you don't say. Like you don't say no or you to someone that's older than you. I'm like, I understand that and I know that. The nuances.
From what I hear, and I'm sorry, I'm going to be completely upfront here. You know the nuances, you just don't want to accept them, and you don't want to conform to them.
Yes and no. Yes.
You're like, why do I have to change myself? This is me. Take me for who I am.
Oh, no. I do understand the nuances. Take me for who I am. No, I think the nuances, I understand them and I will do them in Korea. However, for a lot of the Korean Canadians or American Koreans, they will see and they will feel how I feel. And it's so fucking confusing that if I create this different atmosphere, you'll see a bunch of flood because I see things online, this and that. People are just like, yeah, don't do this. I'm like, fuck this. I'm just like, holy shit. I'm not the only person like this. I'm like, there's a lot of people like that. So,
for sure.
But yeah, like in Rome, when you're in Rome, like the way you act, like in Korea, there's a certain way, like the driving. I drive like when I'm in Korea, I drive like I'm in Korea. If I drive like I'm in Vancouver, if I drive like that in Korea, I'm like, fuck, dude, I got people honking at me. I don't know. Like, do you drive the same when you're in Thailand? Because yeah. My cousin driving in Thailand, I'm like, fuck, that car's gonna hit you. It's like, no. I'm like, watch out for that tuk-tuk. I'm like, he's like, no, these tuk-tuk drivers are like, I'm like, shit.
Yeah. There are small nuances and you got to conform yourself to it, adapt yourself to it, right? And if you're concerned about bringing the Koreans here and creating this new big culture, it's up to you to educate the people that are around in your environment.
Yeah.
In order for you to create harmony and collaboration, people need to be on the same page. And being on the same page sometimes requires you to educate and train and enforce. You know what? Actually, Clement would be a great person to talk to about this, because even if, correct me if I'm wrong, Clement, but when you shake a Korean person's hand, you even go like this too, right? Yeah, see, like he's not even Korean, but he was educated on how to have those, diplomatic gestures and nuances. I don't know what to call them. Like, was it hard for you, Clement, to pick them up?
No, because I guess I kind of immersed myself in that. Even though I was here, I kind of immersed myself into the culture of
How'd you do it?
Korean girlfriend. And also like there was like I had the language exchange group, so then there was like so many Koreans around me.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would meet like a little bit older than me, and like people that I'm not familiar with, like the first time into the group, stuff like that. And then I see them doing it, so then like I copycat kind of thing, right? I see them doing this, so I'm just like, okay, I'll do the same thing, right? I see them pouring for me, I do the same thing, just a copycat role, like how kids learn.
Beautiful, man. And I would actually urge Andrew to do the same if he's up for it. I don't know. I know you know the culture already, but the people you hang out with may not teach you the things you need to know. So meeting a whole new set of people, like I don't know what the feasibility of you going into, what was it called, Clement? The group, immersion group, or
language exchange.
I don't know if you want to do language exchange. Maybe your Korean will be immensely improved with the language exchange, but there are ways to learn.
No, the Korean is in me though. It's in me. Like when I ate at ate at your house, Alex, I understand. And normally if it's I think it's just part of me. Like that's a little bit more Korean part of me will come out. If your parents are just like, yeah, eat. I'm like, okay. And I was just standing there. I'm like, I'll eat later. Like I know I eat a lot, but I'm like, I want your parents to go first. They're like, no, go eat. And they're just standing there. I'm like, fuck. Like I'm like, your parents are not eating first. And if anything, like your brothers aren't eating first too. I'm just like, no, why are they not eating first? Like it's your house is there, but you're the guest. I'm like, I understand that, but I'm like, I eat a lot. So that's why I was like, first, okay, all right, well, I understand that. That's a Canadian thing too. But I'm like, okay, so I got a little bit. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come for like second and thirds. So I'm like, okay, how about I just get like one pizza, one of this. And then I come back, I'm like, okay, then I see people eating. That's when it's okay for me to eat.
Good.
So yeah. Things like that, I do have to adjust, but when I do see it, I think that what was okay with my family household, that's what came out.
And that's a really good point, is whatever worked in your house doesn't work in everyone else's house. And you being open to that will go a long way.
Yeah. So it goes, if you were to go back to this discussion in regards to having that agreement between a male and female, or so it's not necessarily male or female, then it just becomes to provider and supporter. Provider, supporter being male and male, or female and female, or whatever these binary, non-binary, he, she, they, this group.
I think you're making a little more elaborate than it needs to be. It's not that complicated. It's you, one person has to provide, or it could be both, and the other person has to support, or it could be both. But whatever agreements you come up with, these elements need to be there in order to have a thriving relationship.
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to think of a previous relationship where, you know, this Chinese girl, she's wealthy. I don't know if I've explained it to you or talked to you guys about her. She wanted everything. She's a provider and everything. That's good. However, she put it on the table like, you know, I have a lot of money, so money's not a concern. Money will never be a concern for me or for the rest of my life. And I'm like, okay, I'm glad you could say it like that. The way she talks to people, and I don't think I was afraid of just her being the provider. It's just the situation, how she treated people. Other people be like, yeah, she's really good. She's a nice person. However, when I see her, like if you shop for something, she's like, yeah, do this, do that. Yeah, no, they're just a waiter. Let them do that. They get paid for that. And I'm like, you're such a bitch to them. And like that rubbed me the wrong way. I'm like, you have a lot of money and this and that, and you think different. And I think I like how business minded she was, and she invests in property. And you know, she's like, no, that's an industrial area. I don't want to buy property that area. Come on, this. She argues about her mom buying 3 different penthouses, and I'm like, shit, I would like to argue with my mom in regards to that too, instead of, you know, little stuff. However, being a provider, I think, is that just her. When I thought of it, it's just, I don't like people that are rude to workers, unless they're an asshole and they deserve it. I'm just like, no, they were nice. They're like, no, they get paid to do that. I'm like, I understand where you're coming from, but when I see it, sorry, I'm trying to organize my thoughts. Hold on, let me organize my thoughts if someone else wants to go. Because it was this argument that I wanted to go through, and I wanted to hear your thoughts on it. And it goes along the lines of the provider and the supporter. And just one thing led to another. Shit.
How many arguments do you have in your memory bank that you have to still process? You got like the narcissistic dad, the rich Chinese. Like, this may be what's draining you, my friend. Because
so this is the same thing. That's why I'm just like, fuck this. And then I'm like, how do you organize this? I'm like, how do I organize this? I'm just like, fuck it, just get rid of all of this. Like, I don't want this in my head. So I guess with you guys, trying to see it from a different perspective, or, you know, understand it. I would like to understand it. But when it gets to the point where it's draining me because I don't understand, my nature, my natural me will come out and be like, fuck it, and then just delete it. But the other part is, when I delete, some will come up like 5 years later, be like, oh shit, I didn't actually delete it. It was just, I just shoved it under the rug because I didn't want to deal with it. So I think an easier approach may be to understand it before and then delete it, really completely delete it, or understand it and grow from it. So this is why, the reason why I bring it out to you guys is when I do have conversations with you. So what I'm writing down now, I'm like, I'm able to understand it more now, how to process it.
So this actually is a great point of how to find your center faster, because every single trauma you have in your life can never be deleted completely. We think we can delete it, like, oh, the ex, done, she screwed me over, cheated on me, I'm going to delete her from my life and everything. That does not go away, my friends. That comes back maybe a year, full circle, back to the same. Oh shit, I was fucked over. I feel terrible. My mind is all messed up now. I can't function, right? The whole point of this, and I'm glad you're bringing it up, Andrew. I don't mean to say, how many do you have to make fun of you or anything. I'm being very sincere.
Mhm.
These are significant emotional events that you need to, just like you're doing, understand and unpack so that when it does come back up, it doesn't affect you. Or maybe affects you less than the last time before.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever you're doing with this whole, idea of thinking it's going to be deleted, be at ease knowing that it's never going to be deleted fully, and know that it's going to come back again sometime. You will find solace and peace in that because you'll be ready for it the next time. And secondly, when you know you're making progress is when you see it, you're like, oh, there it is again. I'll put you to the side. I don't need to think about it because I'm good. It means nothing to me now.
Mhm.
So I think I shared with you guys, the Aikido master, what's different between a master and his pupils is the ability to find center so much faster than anybody else. So he's not distracted. He can focus on how to move the weight. Same for you. Focus on how to move that weight around so you can get back to your life, like an Aikido master or Taekwondo master, if you will. I don't know. Maybe you know a thing or two about that.
Yeah, that's one of the easiest way for me to understand and put into that perspective.
Because life's gonna throw you a whole bunch of shit, man.
It is.
But you're good at it already.
Taekwondo perspective, this and that. I'm in a state where I can help people in this and that. However, when it comes to me, I'm like, oh, that's a lot. I've beared a lot.
Here's another universal truth, man. Most of the time, we're too close to our problems to be able to solve them. You need perspective. You need to step back to analyze and see, hey, this has been working. This hasn't been working, or I could do this better.
Mm-hmm.
But when we're in the thick of things, it's hard to see. So it makes sense, you can help so many people, Andrew. But sometimes, like, who helps the doctors that helps the millions of patients?
Mm-hmm.
Typically, it's a doctor, just not him.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is I'm inviting you to unpack these things as much as you need to. But know that the aim of doing this is for you to gain those insights so that when they do come up again, like, oh yeah, I got this. It has very little effect on me now. And every time it does come back, there's actually a lesson to learn every single time, which is the coolest part. Because whatever your circumstances are in life now, the way you see things is going to change always, constantly.
Yeah.
So a good question is how is this serving me right now? Or what can I get? What can I extract? What lesson do I need to take? Because it's coming back again. What can I learn from this?
Yeah, that's why I like to be at. What have I learned from this? I don't get it right away though.
For sure.
Yeah, that's good. Oh shit, there's so much to learn. I'm like, well. The funny thing is when I see it and then I look it up, and then I think it's nowadays that I like, why am I feeling like this? Like it's a new experience. And then I'll search it and then I'll read up on it. And then I'm like, okay, this is a good book. Maybe I'll read this. And I learn about it. And then that's when I'm just like, well, I understand it more. And those are topics that I'm like, hey, I want to talk about it with you guys, think and see where you guys are at, so that I don't just get in the habit of me, myself, internet, and just fucking just Google doctor myself.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
good to hear your own thoughts and your learnings to see if you've actually ingrained it and embodied it and actually got the learnings from it. So, yeah, for sure.
Mhm. Another topic I asked if you're okay with it. I didn't know until the previous few calls ago that Uje is going through. You are going through a divorce.
Yes.
Okay. That's another topic that I would like to learn about, and I really have trouble talking to people that are going through a divorce. It gets to the point where I can be here as a friend and listen to you. However, when we're talking this and that, I'm not myself. I stop myself from saying things, and I'm like, what if I say this and it can hurt you or this or that? Those are my thoughts. And not only on this call, however, with anyone that goes through a divorce, if they're like, yeah, it's okay. So, you could say whatever you want. Like, I fucking hate my wife. Like Sean. Sean is someone that I can talk to in regards to, because he's past it. He has an awesome family. However, if you're going through the divorce and if you're going through this and that, I'm like, I don't know how you feel and I don't know what to say, what's right or not. So the boundaries, I'm like, I don't know. I know Sean better than Uje. So I know I can joke about things with Sean and I can say things that will not hurt Sean. But with in the case of Uje, especially going through things like this, if I talk about my situation or how I think of things, or people around me, there are divorced, this or that, or what I like to see in a wife, or what I find as a wife material, I find that some things can offend you, and that's what I'm afraid of sometimes.
Oh, you don't have to worry. Nothing offends me, like what you said, or yeah. And this group is supposed to have like discuss the inner thought. So if you hold back on what you say, it defeats the purpose. So I encourage you to ask questions and say what you want to say.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Uje. Yeah, you're right. This whole group is to have those discussions without holding back and without, refrain from hurting each other's feelings. Because I mean, I assume, Andrew, when you ask questions, you come from a place of care. It's not just you being an asshole, right? Like, oh, I'm gonna push this button and see what it does. Like, I don't think you would do that.
No, I wouldn't. The thing is, that's why I say Uche. Like Sean knows how I am, and he's gone through a hard divorce. Another friends have as well, but I'm like, Uche knows me from a different point, like maybe not on a personal level yet. Like I haven't seen him in person. However, like this interaction is good, and I just, although the platform this is used to just be yourself, not judge. However, I still want that, be aware, because this is something that's you just go through currently right now. And that's why I'm like, with respect to that, I think there should be some sort of caution of what I say. But that's why. Yeah, I am careful of what I say in regards to this.
Good. Well, you're welcome to have the conversation with all of us here or on the side, doesn't matter. But
yeah, again, it's all personal. Like I don't know why or what's happening, this, that. So then I'm like, I don't know what to say, what is okay, what's not okay. I'd be like, fuck people, like with divorce. Like that's one thing that my parents said too. And that's, when I was communicating with Sean, he's just like, when I met met his first wife, it was like, I didn't see the red flags. There were like her moms and dads and uncles and aunts, they were all divorced. So that I just ignored that red flag. And I just said, that was just, you know what? I just wanted to be with this girl. And I thought I could make this marriage work. But, a year into the marriage, she wanted to go our separate ways and she cheated on me, blah, blah, blah. I didn't see those red flags. And I'm like, okay. So there's a part of this, like, if you have a divorce in the family, then it's more likely to happen. So when I'm talking about my parents, I'm like, this girl is good for me. Like, I like her. However, their first question is there a divorce in the family? And I'm like, and then now, like, it's happening so much now. Is that something that I'm looking at as a red flag? And when I dated someone in regards to that, it did become a red flag, because when I asked her, I did something that I wanted to learn, like, how was the divorce? How did you go through? Like, did you communicate? Like, did you try to make things work? And it's just that excess baggage that I didn't want. Like, no. Like, we try to make it work, but no, it's done. And I'm like, I think when you think of marriage as a big thing like that, and you try, yeah, we tried for maybe like a few months. I'm like, few months. I'm like, I don't know if this is the type of person that I want to be with. So those are things that I think about. I'm like, is it okay to think about, bring up topics like this of my concerns? And I think, Wujie, maybe later on you might have great things to say about this, but are you okay with me if I bring up topics like this while you're going through this?
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Okay.
Here's a great thing, Andrew, and you're doing it really well, is you're asking for permission. It doesn't matter what conversation you have. If you feel uneasy asking and you think it's going to hurt them, you ask for permission. If they say yes, go. If they say no, don't go. And you do a great job of it already. So I don't think you'll have any issues.
Okay.
Saku. What's up, girl? Look at her. What? Oh, you shaved your head. No?
No, this is just how much hair she has.
Oh my God. Crazy. Mine came out with like a full set of hair. I'm like, what?
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Let me see. Here, you saw my daughter, but I don't know if you can see this. That's a full head.
Yeah.
Yes. This is what she has.
Oh, what a cutie. Yeah, mine has, those Chinese, I think they're angels, where they have like little side hair here, nothing on top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what my daughter and all my kids look like.
Oh.
Like little baby angels.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, they all look like Mao Zedong too, Just the. Anyway, I digress. What a cutie.
Yeah, the baby Saku looks bigger than last week.
Yeah, she's getting bigger and bigger. Like, we have a swing that we put her in, and at first she was like probably half the size of the swing. Now she's probably like 3/4 or something, or like 4/5 of the swing. Yeah, she's growing.
Now mine started talking now, really a lot. Like she don't stop.
Oh,
kind of crazy. I'm like, oh no, it's another one of my other daughter.
Is that more like Alex or Alex's wife?
Oh no, we both talk, as you can see. But yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else anyone wants to bring up today? What do you guys think of the book club? The work? Good?
What is it exactly that you're looking for? Like, is it just what we're going to today? Like, you just read passages and we just discuss it?
So as you can see, a book is huge. I only read maybe 7 lines out of the book, and 2-hour conversation came out of that. Okay. So what I'm looking for us to do is 1, getting a copy of the book somehow. And then 2, we each take turns reading a passage that resonates with us at the time of reading. So you go through the book, you find maybe a paragraph, and you bring it to the group. Like, today I want to talk about this. And that's it. This way, I think we have good, healthy conversations and discussions around them. So, and it doesn't have to be this book too, but I wanted to start with this because there's a lot that I got from this book, and I hope you guys get it too. That's what I wanted to share.
Is it David Data, the author?
Yeah, you got it.
If you guys are into ebooks, I know how to get like free ebooks
Yeah.
illegally.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Oh, please share. I'd love to know.
Sure, I'll link you guys the website later.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. When I think of it, yeah, I liked it. It was helpful, especially on the topic that's fucking scary as hell that I just went to recently. So I'm like, what the hell? That's awesome. Awesome. At the same time, he's like, ooh, that's scary.
This is energy, my friend. You went through life and things are going to be attracted to you, right? I didn't know. Just works. Ujay, what'd you think? Was this helpful?
Yes.
Okay. Clement, I know you missed the first part, but you got the gist of it, right? What do you think?
It's good. It definitely gives a direction for me to think about.
Okay. So I'm gonna nominate Ujay to be the next leader for the next one. We got 2 weeks, so next week there's no call, guys. But Ujay, if you can be the lead, pick up an excerpt from the book, throw it to the group, and then we'll talk about it. And on the excerpt can resonate with you, and it has to be like, oh yeah, this is what I want to talk about this time. Don't worry about anybody else. Just focus on you, and then we'll focus on that.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. Let's do it. All right, fellas. I think this is all the time we have for today. I want to wish you all a happy Father's Day, and whether it's you being the father or your father, go say hi or something, or I love you or something to them. And yeah, as always, it's been a pleasure.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Likewise. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
Have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day.
Take care, guys. Talk to you soon.
Great weekend. Bye.